Having my go-to people that can actually like physically come over and stuff.
Yes.
Well,
There's nobody in the
know.
ground.
Had a Board of Adjustments
been fun.
every month
Let's see, our
through March and April.
Wow,
Yeah,
daughter
and then,
was
I know, crazy. We'll probably have one in May.
a lot going on, yeah.
Other people not liking our code apparently.
yikes.
Jeez.
Well, I know what to
And
do
she,
with that
and
one.
she was crying and
I've-
screaming and she
I was
wouldn't eat.
supporting
We
most
knew
of them
something
except for the
else
last
was
one we had.
Mhm.
I absolutely was against it.
Well,
Doctor,
Call the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for Monday, April 14th, 2025 to order. Roll call, please.
Rocco Gonzalez,
Here.
Mark Kleesner, Mark Piantek,
Here.
Tom Holtmeyer.
Here.
Mayor Hagedorn.
Here.
John Borgman.
Here.
Chuck Watson, Chad Briggs, Carolyn Witt,
Here.
Mike Wood. Here. Sarah Skeen.
Here.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the March 10th, 2025 meeting.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Next two items relate to each other. File number 250401, the rezoning of 4151 and 4153 Jane Lane. And item number 4, file number 250402, preliminary plat, 4151 and 4153 Jane Lane. Sarah?
Okay, so this is another same that we had last time we met, rezoning, going from a two-family to a single-family attached zoning district. As you can see in this map, the neighborhood is actually a mix of both. So it is a changing zoning, I think, that we're gonna see a lot more often. The two-family is not a popular, for the mortgage industry is not wanting to loan money on two-family for one side. So this is driving this change. We, again, here's an aerial view of it. You can see, the variety of the different types of zoning there, with the lot lines, the zero lot lines. So there's some interesting drawings, just like in the last one. There was some pushback for the lot size. They didn't want to lose part of their property. So in this case, luckily, that the way the line is going to be drawn, we are going to have the appropriate lot size, the appropriate setbacks, everything is going to meet code for that R1C. So it's a clear cut, change to the R1C.
And you have the language in there for the sewer.
Right, so moving on, looking at the preliminary plat, again, here's that parcel. We don't go out to verify if there is separate lines, but we do have verbiage that will go on the plat that says that they are responsible for that line if they share one. We did go out to make sure that they had separate curb stops, because that is probably something we should be looking at too, that they have their own separate line for water, since they will be different owners, and they have separate meters and then separate curb stops, so that's helps with that when they have issues down the road and they need to turn one side off. So this is what the preliminary plat looks like, and again, the lot width is 40 feet at the front property line, the setbacks are 25 feet front and rear. Again, you have the 6-foot setback on the side, but the zero lot line in the middle, and then each lot is about 6,098 square feet. So right in there, in that mark.
Any other questions or comments by the board? I'll entertain a motion, or if there's anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this?
I'm here for this.
You can come up if you want to speak.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Just introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Brian Sohn. I'm with eXp Realty. I'm the realtor for everybody involved in the conversation. So, when this was created, it was set up to be a condominium, but there was documents recorded, but there was no board created. There was no deed created to deed any property to the condominium. So you have a condominium association that only exists because of one recorded document. The people that have owned it have always operated as if they were single-family attached, and they weren't aware they weren't single-family attached. So when they bought it, they thought they were buying single-family attached, and now when it comes to sale and with lending, it came up that there was a document recorded for a condominium association that doesn't exist other than that one recorded document. So, there was a debate for a while. I used to work in engineering and surveying, and there was a debate for a while between different municipalities of what was the correct way to handle the duplexes. And so I think what happened is the conversation shifted between the time ground broke and the property was sold. And so they started with it, but then by the time they sold it, opinion changed. So they just kind of ignored it. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If there's no further comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Any other business?
Yeah, there's actually a couple things that have come up recently. And it's just looking at code revisions, so just giving you a heads up that we're having conversations internally. The first is our Board of Adjustments. We need to look at how we approach that and the fee. So mainly the fee. So we've discussed bringing counsel to our meetings so that they can speak more to the legal side of the code and argue that better than I can, or Charles. We had one today on stormwater. So we're bringing him on board. And then, of course, you know, we have to recoup those costs, so the fees have to change. Right now, it's $60 for a variance. And we feel like anybody will go ahead and do it because, you know, what's that, $60, right? So we spend a lot more money notifying the Missourian, staff fees, the meetings, and those kinds of things. So we really, and we need to pay for legal counsel.
Yeah.
So that's gonna come down the line. So that's an easy one. The other one came up recently, and this has been on the back of my mind since I came here. Code revisions concerning the downtown district and the C2 overlay specifically. The car-centric uses that are allowed or given a use if there's a special permit approval. Things like the drive-throughs. If they don't have a 5-car stack, you know, they can get a special use permit. But if they have a 5-car stack, sure, go ahead. Do we want that downtown? Do we want that on Fifth Street? Can we handle that? You know, we see that at Exit 11, they're not on Fifth Street, but they have cars coming out onto the street. Is that what we want on our Fifth Street corridor? Car washes. We allow car washes. Do we really want cars to come through and wash their cars and have that kind of an appealing, you know, activity in our downtown and our Fifth Street corridor? So there's things that we allow right now that if somebody came and had property and said, hey, I want to go ahead and build this, we can't say no. And so I would love to come and say, here's what we need to remove from our C3 district outright, and then we need to look at our C2 overlay, because right now, and I was just talking to Mark because I'm still kind of confused, but our matrix for our uses, there is no column for the C2 overlay. So basically falls into whatever C2 allows. Well, C2, you're thinking 147, those big box stores, is that the uses that we want to see on Fifth Street? So that's the question that I'm asking. Do you want me to pursue these kinds of changes, bring you some code changes and vote on that?
I think we need to do that because the traffic problems that the car wash has created, what was Club Car Wash and then
Yep.
now for the city and for the residents that are down in that, you know, I think we definitely don't want something like that on Fifth Street. And I think, we probably need to take a look at that, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we're trying to move the Fifth Street corridor more into a downtown corridor where there's more walkability, smaller shops, closer to each other, not a whole spread of parking lots, residential. We're trying to increase that, so
And that was
to
part of our-
eliminate
Part of
cars.
our comp plan.
Right,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my next question. It's part of the comp plan, I'm pretty sure, to
Yes.
move towards this. That was the first one. The second one is, have we talked, I guess, to Tyler King from downtown Washington about ideas he might have? I'm not sure about code specific, maybe,
Yeah.
but I think it could be a good collaboration.
Oh, yeah, and we do the Main Street conferences, and
Yeah,
that's
I-
definitely.
When I was on the board, it's always been moving towards Fifth Street to enlarge our downtown, to include that. So, I mean, that's on their radar as well. Now, they don't have, you know, the code enforcement and that sort of thing, but they're very conscious of that and wanting that to be part of what they consider their downtown area. Not necessarily a historic area, but just an economic engine in the historic more, which it is old. It's not the highway, so,
And we have open space.
yes,
Right.
there's places
That's
to
the big
put
thing,
things.
actually.
And we need to be ready
Right, that's the
when it
thing.
comes.
Right.
Because you know it's going to come.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is good.
Okay,
Do you need a motion?
I don't think so.
yeah, I think I'm just letting you know.
Work your magic, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try, yeah.
Did
But I'm
you,
happy too, because I've highlighted all those things in that matrix since day one. I'm like, oh, let's attack that one. So I am excited. Now's the time. And then you'll get your comprehensive plan update next month. We're working on a presentation. A lot of it is economic development, so Aaron will be here and he'll present with me. But there's quite a bit for us to tackle, so make sure you guys are here and ready for a good show.
so do you want to give us an update from our meeting with the developers on cul-de-sacs?
Yeah, so we're also doing street connectivity. We just started, we had our first steering committee meeting. I presented all the reasons why street connections are important and all the factors involved with how subdivisions have kind of turned into this, again, car-centric environment where there's only one way in, one way out, and it's not really safe to walk. So we did have a conversation, and I think that most of our participants, we had Vic, developer, Cameron from Wonderlic, a couple board members. Bridgewater was gonna come and they forgot, but they're still interested. Kurt was gonna come and he is coming to the next one. So we have a few more voices. We did have a real estate agent also. And they all agreed that this was something that they really didn't think about before or talk about, and did appreciate the conversation. And in my feel of the back and forth, they're open to making compromises. So we're gonna come to a compromise. I feel it's important, and I have faith that we're going to rein back on the many cul-de-sacs that we are putting in our developments. So that's the hope.
It's just tough with our topography and
Yeah,
things like that,
Yeah.
work around that and still get the connectivity that we need.
Especially going east and south. If they were going west, it'd be different, but
North
easier.
wouldn't be so bad.
Someday.
That's all flat ground over there.
Someday.
yeah. So we'll meet again the first week of May.
That's good.
The only thing, Mr. Chairman, I would like to say is thank you, Mayor, for reappointing me to the commission for another 4 years. Tonight starts my 16th year
Wow.
of serving on the commission, so thank you and the council for doing that this week.
It was
last week.
basically a no-brainer.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your,
A little more thought on my reappointment. I had to lobby a few council members.
I'm humbled by your support, and I'll continue to do what I can do to serve in this position. Thank you.
You're welcome. Easy call.
Any other comments? Entertain one last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
This is a record.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I did a lot of talking this time.
And we have a mayor, coffee with the mayor in the morning.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
10 a.m.
Should be fun.